Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Astrology and Coffee. I am Megan from the Academy of Logic and Light, and we're so excited to have you here with us today. We are talking about the sign Leo, and I am excited to learn more about Leos myself, and excited to have everyone here to learn with us. I just spilled my coffee right before we started, so I'm a little scattered. um, anyway, here at the Academy of Logic and Light, we are a community educational platform that provides a safe space for people to practice their spirituality without being indoctrinated. So we're really here to be a peer-to-peer teaching organization and creating a community that just kind of helps encourage people to learn about these ancient and esoteric practices and different ways that we can also improve ourselves and our lives. We have monthly meetups around the new moon. Next month in July, we're doing a meetup on the 16th. Is that right, Julie? Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay. And so we're super excited to have that. That's local here to Salt Lake City. And then we also are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and have a Facebook group, all under the name Academy of Logic and Light. You can also visit us at our website of academyoflogicandlight.org. We also have Patreon. So if you like what you see and what we are doing, we would love for you to support us over there. We have lots of different tiers. You can sign up. We have different astrology perks, tarot perks, as well as energetic healing at different tiers. So jump in and see what we're offering over there as well. And if you're interested in teaching with us, please reach out on social media at the or to our Gmail at academyoflogicandlight@gmail.com. Anyway, that's my spiel. If you, sorry, if you could want to, you can pull up your birth chart at astro.com and follow along with us while we talk about Leo. We're going to discuss what placements of the planets in Leo look like, also what houses, where Leo is in your houses, and how that can affect things. We'll talk about light and dark sides and really get to have a good discussion and in depth and learn more about our Leo friends. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. I'm going to go ahead and roll an intro and turn the time over to our teachers, Julie and Elle.
Oh, that was fast.
Hello. I know. We're here. Thank you, Megan. Megan has been dying. She's been sick. So, kudos to her for, showing up and being here and, still doing the thing. So we really appreciate that. Yeah.
Killing it. Love
Are you
that.
ready for Leo?
Oh, my gosh. I have 4 drinks in front of me just to get ready for today. I'm not sure where this is going to take a turn, but I've got a beverage for every turn on this one.
Tequila. Tequila will be a good one.
Actually, no. It's still a little early, but maybe. Maybe by the end of this, whenever all my Leo besties are calling me, yelling.
You said what? Because they're all present. We know all you Leos are here.
Lurking in the corners. People were messaging me. I was telling Alan, I'm like, they're like, don't be rude to the Leos. I'm like, come defend yourselves.
Yes, come. We need people. I have friends that are like, I love Leo men. I'm like, please show up and tell me why. Oh yeah, I know.
An unhealed version of me in my 20s was very much like, oh yes, anything Leo, because I love the good hair. I love that big energy. And then I get to know them and I'm like, this was a huge mistake.
What did I get myself into? I think we've all been there for sure.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot to say today.
Yes.
Pop this stream up here. Here we go.
There's Leo, Salem.
All right. Just dive right in. Okay, Leo facts. I think we all know July 23 to August 22nd. If anyone has their birthday and then we're like, oh shoot. Okay, here we go. Leo is enthusiastic, powerful, expansive, creative, generous, extravagant, dogmatic, and fixed in opinion. Very fixed in opinion.
Very fixed. I can't express enough.
They talk about Taurus as being the most stubborn, but I'd have to say Leo's up there.
Yeah, pride plus being stubborn, it's a whole new level.
Yeah, and also you just like watch it burn because you're like pride and stuck, and you're just like, wow, this is a yeah. I think Megan said it best, dumpster fire.
100%.
All right, our duality is masculine. Our triplicity / element is fire, and our quadruplicity is fixed. Our ruling planet, of course, is the sun. As
They
if we
love to be
needed.
seen.
Yeah, if we needed to know any more that the world revolves around them. The center of our solar system, a star that burns with intense fire and supplies us with light, heat, and energy. It is the most powerful planetary influence, bestowing vitality and authority. Our modern day calendar is based on the Earth's movement around the sun. The birthstone is the ruby, which protects against physical injury and ensures faithfulness. It also brings its wearers a peace of mind. The lion is a regal, brave, dominating, and sometimes indolent, possessing nobility and pride. Their, what is that called? Their phrase is "I will," which sounds stubborn in itself.
Yes, I'm going to.
Our metal is gold, of course. Colors of, again, gold and orange, the magnetic colors of the sun. I feel like a Leo wrote this too. Lucky day is Sunday, and lucky numbers are 8 and 9. Our flowers are sunflower and marigold, and any orange and citrus trees. And cities, we've got Rome, Prague, Damascus, and Hollywood. And countries, we've got France, Italy, and Romania. Excuse me. Romania.
Ooh.
All right, this is you, lady.
All right. I've been very excited to get into Leo because I like to challenge myself. I'm always down for a good challenge. And I've had a lot of bad encounters with the masculine Leo energy. Feminine Leo energy, all day long. I have friends that carry this strong, independent, just presence with them in the women. And I say women, I mean feminine, so I'm trying to be better about that. But they're all girls in my life that I'm just like, I really value them. I feel like they are stubborn. I've never met male energy, female energy at all that wasn't stubborn, ever. But the feminine energy, they seem to me to have it a little more together. They're very strict with what they do and how they do it. They're very picky about who they date. I have a lot of I would say probably the majority of my friends that are single are Leo women, and it's because they're so picky. And I can appreciate that. They deserve the best because they are the best. Leo mentality. But the masculine energy is it's almost, to me, in my opinion, disrespectful. They're very like proud, and they're very proud of who they are, and they don't care really whose feelings they hurt, and they just tend to be very arrogant, most of the men. Now, I will say, with that arrogance and that proud energy, they can be very loyal. They can be, the person you might want to call if your car breaks down, or, they're very reliable when it comes to like needing. I do think that there is a part of them, they like to feel needed. And so when someone's like, hey, my house burned down, they're like kind of the first responders right there. Like, let me help you, because I think it fulfills something in them. I mean, I think they want to help too, but I think it makes them feel good to do for others and be like the first one there and be the one to save the day. I really think that's kind of where that generates from. But, so Leo sons, I have a brother-in-law. He's a Leo sun. He's a Cancer moon. So he is low-key like this big macho guy, but he's also like a softie because he's kind of emotional, but you never know it. Mm-hmm. I grew up with this man, and he's the one Leo that I'm like, I have some good things I could say about him. Like, he's an asshole. He knows it. I know it. Everyone knows it. Everyone's like, oh God, this guy. But he also, again, is that first person that shows up. If you need anything, if he sees someone that like needs something, he is really kind-hearted, and he is there, and he's very loyal to my sister. I low-key think he's really scared of her. She's an Aries.
It's better that way.
Yeah, I know. Let's keep it under the thumb. Yeah, but low key, I think he's very terrified of her because she is an Aries and she's very strong, and she comes with force too. So I don't think that a Leo man is for the weak. Like, I just think that if you're gonna date one, you need to be just as strong, if not stronger, and maybe scare them a little bit. Maybe we should. I would like to see a Leo male with a Scorpio woman.
Ooh.
That could be really interesting and fun to watch.
I like to watch it, yeah.
Yeah, from afar.
You don't want to be a part of it.
When the fireworks and explosions and fires start, I want to be far enough that I don't like scorch my eyelashes, but I want to kind of watch it. It'd be entertaining to say the least. So if you're out there and you're a Scorpio woman dating a Leo man, let's talk. This could be a whole show in itself. So Leo suns, they're bold. I don't want to say extreme because they're kind of not extreme, but they're just very bold and loud. And a lot of times that can be, misconstrued as like cocky or arrogant. There's a lot of confidence in Leos, women or, feminine or masculine energy, very confident. So that's a good thing to have in general. So it's not a bad placement. And plus the sun, your sun in Leo is ruled by the sun. So it's kind of exalted here. So they can't help but be big and bright and loud because it's literally the sun is their ruling planet, and that's where Leo resides in their chart. So give them some slack. They can't help it. Okay. They're good people down to the core. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. Leo moons, a little different energy here. Leo, the moon is kind of hidden in your chart. So how you are emotionally, internally, how you feel is a little different than how you act. So a Leo moon, they're emotionally confident. They may not show it on the outside. You may not see this loud, vibrant person. Like if it's a Virgo sun or a Cancer sun I actually have a Cancer friend that's a sun with a Leo moon, and she's very emotionally confident. She handles things well. She takes her time to acknowledge things. She is kind of arrogant. There is a little bit of arrogance to her, which is not very Cancer-like. So I do think that kind of shines through her Leo moon. But they handle emotions and the way that they respond emotionally in a confident way. And I wouldn't say are super emotional beings, but they definitely, there's some emotionals there. Because whether Leo wants to admit it or not, they do tend to take things personally, and they kind of like get their feelings hurt very easily. So and I feel like that's so sensitive. So having Leo in the moon makes you strong, but also you could be very sensitive because your moon is how you handle things emotionally. Your Leo and Mercury. This might as well be the sun, and typically it is. If you have a Leo sun, it's very possible that you have a Leo Mercury, and that you speak very loud and you speak very proud and you think very cocky and confident. And I think that just gets on people's nerves. They don't like the overconfidence. They say it's cocky or it's, I need a better vocabulary for like all these words. There's just something about someone that thinks that they're the best. And I don't know why that annoys people so much. It shouldn't. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I feel like a dick.
Everybody's like, no.
I know, she's turning on us. I'm just saying that there's nothing wrong with being confident. Maybe if you do have these Leo placements, to just soften it a little bit. Maybe not say I'm the best and better than everyone and everyone sucks. Just say I feel really confident in my abilities.
Yeah, you don't have to tear others down to build yourself up.
Yes.
I think that's why we're all a little sensitive.
I know. I'm trying to be Switzerland here.
We've all got hurt by a Leo at least once.
We've all wanted to strangle one a couple of times in our lives, but it's not the answer. All right, Leo Venus. So if you have a Leo Venus, you're a lover. You can't help it. You want to do for your partner. I would say love language is anywhere between acts of service and physical touch, because you guys are physical touch people. So Venus and Leo, very loyal, very caring, proud. You're proud of your partner. Like these are the Venuses that, like sometimes I see, like I'm not like this. I have a Virgo Venus. I do not wear clothes with my chest hanging out, or I don't really wear pants. I guess that counts for something. But I'm not a very like, you see these men with women that are dressed and you're like, wow, she's beautiful. But some men in my past, I'm like, they would never be okay with me walking out of the house like that. But some men are very confident and they love that. That is a Leo Venus. They are proud of their partner. They want people's eyes on them. They want people to look at them. They want them to be like, yes, this is my person, or vice versa. It doesn't have to be a female. It could be the male. The woman's like, yes, my husband's walking around without a shirt on and I love it because I want everyone to want him because he's mine. You know, like it's that kind of energy with the Leo Venus. The Leo Mars is very, I mean, I like this placement because Leo, even though they're fixed, they don't move very fast, but they do get things done. And so they're very practical about things. Like for a fire sign, I would say Leo is the most practical. Like they really take in consideration all the things. They're like, well, did you think about this? Or did you think about that? And what about this? So a Leo Mars is really good at making sure that they get things done and that it's done effectively and efficiently and that no one's like, there's not any balls dropped. So that's kind of a good placement to have, Leo and Mars. And then a rising Leo.
That's me.
I mean, you can spot them a mile away. I know, but your Capricorn sun brings it down so much. That's why it's so important to understand your whole chart, because if you had a Leo sun, moon, and rising,
I would be unbearable. I'd kill myself.
My daughter's a Leo rising. She hates Leos. She's a Taurus and she's a Leo rising. And she was like one day like, Mom, what's my chart? And like she's like, oh, Taurus sun, Aquarius moon. And like, you know how it shows everything and your rising is kind of at the bottom. And she was like, Leo rising. Oh, I hate myself. I was like, Kylie, that's good. And she is kind of bossy. She is feisty, but I'm like, you can't say that. So Leo risings
have good hair, though, I will say.
Oh, 100%. Big, luscious hair. They're very fun. They're outgoing. They see the world as fun and outgoing. They can be very playful. These are kind of jokesters. They love having friends. I would say a Leo rising, they're always out in the streets. They're always playing. They're like hanging out. They're just having a good time. They don't take life too seriously. I mean, again, this depends on other placements, but a Leo rising is just a fun energy to be around. You spot them a mile away, like the big hair, the big personality to go with it. And you just, like a lot of times when I think someone's a Leo and they're like, no, I'm this. I'm like, no, you're Leo rising for sure. Like, what time were you born? I need to know right now. Because I can sense it. It's just an energy. And it's a good energy. It's happy, it's big, it's bold, it's bright, shines like the sun. So those are Leo things in your planets. So again, we just do the top 6. Going into any of the other planets is really more.
Also, have you ever seen like someone just walking down the street and they're like wearing a lion t-shirt? I'm like, when were you born by chance? They're like, how did you know? And I'm like, only a Leo, man.
My husband and I were at a party. My husband loves Leos. He grew up best friends with Leos. He loves Leos. I don't know what it is. And he's so chill and like cool, calm, and collected. So maybe like their energy just feeds off him because he's like, yeah, like he's chilling. He's a Gemini. We go to a party and instantly he starts talking to this guy that I'm like, I just, the energy, something reminds me of someone that I know that's a Leo. And I'm like, ugh. And I avoid him the whole time. I'm holding the baby. I'm walking around the party. And at some point, the first thing he says to me, doesn't introduce himself. Where are your hot girlfriends at? I'm like, are you a Leo? And he was like, yeah, I am. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Weird. How inconspicuous of
I'm
you.
like, I'm Sage's wife. Nice to meet you. But I'm like, where are all my hot friends at? First off, never in a million years. Any of them. Guy. Don't know your name. Still don't know his name. But he was just like,
that's the biggest insult for Leo.
I know. I'm like, that's not how you introduce yourself. And now you're a Leo. I really think of someone I don't like, and I'll give you their number. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep people in my phone that I don't like and just start handing out their numbers to different Leo men.
I have someone that's perfect for you.
Yeah, I think you guys will go so well together.
Different social experiment for sure.
Yes. Again, watching from afar.
Oh my god.
I think it'd be good.
That is amazing.
All right, let's go through Leo in the houses. So, Leo in the first house. Everyone remembers first house is ruled by Aries. Aries and Leo are like little besties, if you think about it. Fire and fire. I've watched my sister and her husband for like 20 years be married, and they like love and hate each other, but they are truly best friends. And it's cute to watch because they're both assholes. But it's cute because they're assholes and they love each other, and I just love it. And she's watching, so it's totally fine. This isn't anything I wouldn't say to her face. But Leo in the first house gives Leo a more independent kind of personality, or in direction in their life. They tend to be not necessarily loners, but very strong and independent within themselves. This does amplify them. It gives them more fuel, more fire. So if you meet an Aries sun in the first house, this person is probably very loud, very aggressive. This is kind of, Aries is ruled by Mars and the sun, and when you have those two planets in one little sector, it can be pretty explosive. So it could be a placement of someone who gets really angry and lashes out and just reacts, very reactive. Not saying that this is a bad placement. They do go well together, but it is a recipe for an extremist, a very extreme personality, very bold and just extreme. Best way to put it. Leo sun in the first house.
First house. Right? If it's
You're
in my
right.
rising, it's probably my first house, right?
First, yeah. And that's the rising in the first. I mean, that is a whole nother thing that we'll go over and teach one day. So stay tuned for your different planets in the different houses, because right now we just do the suns. So Leo sun in the second house. This is kind of a difficult placement. Taurus rules the second house. Taurus is very practical, and even though they're both fixed, so they're both very stubborn, I would say this gives a Leo sun a lot more of just bullheadedness, I would say. Like, there's no getting this person to budge, no movement. They're stuck in who they are, and there's no changing that. But also, it kind of takes the fun out of Leo in a way. Like, not that Taurus isn't fun, but Taurus and Leo is a challenging aspect. When you have a Leo sun in the second house, it doesn't exalt it. It doesn't make it exciting. It's actually a square, and it kind of causes it to be a little more grumpy. So it kind of changes the personality of a Leo. They can be very angry in this placement in the second house. A Leo sun in the third house. This is a beautiful placement. So Leo suns in the third house are people that are very, they communicate. Leos like to talk anyways, especially about themselves. And so when you have a Leo in the third house, they can talk, they can communicate, they jive. They like to, technology is a big thing for this, they really jive, and like career-wise, like in technical things and just different things that communication's involved in, they really strive and grow in those sort of areas. The personality that kind of shifts with this is, Leo's already playful and Gemini's playful, but I'd say a Leo in the third house probably gets in a little more legal trouble. They just aren't as rule following as the rest of the Leos. Gemini's a little mischief. Like, they like to, do things and cause ruckus, and the third house is ruled by Gemini. So a Leo in the third house, you might have a little record on you. That's okay. You might have started some fires in your day. Leo sun in the fourth house. This one's really good for family. So a Leo, I think of like a Leo father with his son in the fourth house. He's a great provider. He's the ruler of the house. He takes care of things. He's in charge, though. The house runs the way that he wants it to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Same with the mom. If it was like a feminine energy and mother, she wants to rule the house. She wants to run things. Family is very important to them. Again, that fourth house Cancer placement is very heavy. So you have a Leo sign in the house of Cancer. It really brings it this kind of nurturing ability for the Leo. So it kind of gives them a little more of a nurturing side, which would be cute to see, And then there is Leo in the fifth house. I'll wait till we switch slides. Perfect. This one is amazing. So if you have your Leo in the 5th house, this is kind of where it belongs. Leo rules the 5th house. This is creativity. This is art. This is fun. This is, you know, the best kind of Leo sun is in the 5th house because they are in the direction that they're meant to go. They're happy. I would say these are the positive, happy Leos that you meet and you like. And you're like, oh, they're so fun and they're funny and they crack jokes and they're creative. This is that placement. It's kind of nice because, you know, I would think like Leo being in the house of Leo, that seems like extra arrogant. But it's not. It kind of tames it down a little bit because they have this comfort and confidence that they don't have in other houses. So not a bad thing. Leo in the 6th house. This one, again, the 6th house is the house of services. They like to do for others, but unfortunately, I hate to say this, but they do for others for the validation through themselves. I'm sorry, but this is just one of those placements. You do for others because it makes you feel good. It's not so much that you care to help others. You care because how it makes you feel. You do it. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, you're still doing good for others, despite the reasoning behind it. Your ulterior motives. You do things for others. Again, this is the placement for like social work. I always say that. I always say that these are the nurses, the doctors. So when you think of a Leo energy in a house of services, you know, they could be the one in the doctor that cracks jokes and keeps the patients laughing, or the nurse that's, you know, just being silly and just kind of keeping it light, but at the same time fulfilling the need to help others. So that's some Leo sun in the 6th house. Leo sun in the 7th house. I'm just glad I don't have this placement. I'm actually kind of glad that my 7th house is pretty empty of planets. I got to work on some things, but you know, when Leo the lion is in the 7th house of relationships, it's kind of like I was saying about Gemini. It's a little different with Leo. They love everybody. They love to love everybody. And staying in one relationship can be very difficult for this placement because their whole life is about relationships and they do strive. It gives them this confidence. They find a lot of confident validation through relationships. And so if they're not getting, you know, you're with someone for 5 years and then that 6th year, you're like, oh, they don't really feed my ego the way they used to. So you kind of look for that in other relationships. And that doesn't necessarily have to be like in a cheating type of thing. It could be through, you know, I mean, typically it is, but it could be through like a work friend or someone else. You just have to be careful to watch those boundaries and what your partner will or won't like or approve. I honestly, my favorite sign for a Leo to date is an Aquarius. I have seen over the years, there's something about the independent. Oh, sorry. Salem is going to join us, everybody. She has no Leo placement and her bib is all the way turned around. She's struggling. But a Leo and an Aquarius, they both have like their polarities, so they're opposites. But I feel like they get each other more than really any other polarity. So, you know, Leos like attention and they like to be with their person, but there's also this independent thing about them. And Aquarius is the same. They like affection and they also like their alone time. They're also both kind of assholes. And they vibe together. They love to be assholes together, especially to other people. It just does something for them. I've seen it firsthand a number of times with multiple different people. So, 7th house, Leos, just try to keep your partner stroking your ego for all eternity and you'll be happy. Leo in the 8th house. This one's a little heavier. Anytime I see Leo in the 8th house, it's kind of a little heavier. They're a little more, they really go through transitions through life that are pretty big. And that's really hard for a Leo because they're always, sorry, I have a text come through. they're fixed and they don't like to change. Leos hate change. And so when they have to transform, they have to change and they have to evolve. I don't want to say this and it be like, you know, hurtful for some of this. I truly don't feel like Leos are capable of transforming unless there's like a death. Because I've seen so many Leos be just arrogant and be whatever, and then I watch death happen to them and it humbles them. It changes them. They really, I feel like, gives them this kind of understanding and respect, and I've seen it change a number of them. So this is one of those areas where I feel like death can happen and it can really cause
You
them
don't need to wait for death to change.
I know, it's fine. Or like really hard times, like that's where I really see the Leos evolve, because when I know a lot of Leos that have like cookie cutter lives, their parents are married, they really didn't go through any trauma, and then they grow up to be these assholes, and then I watch things happen and I'm like, man, like you really changed since then. Like, you know, you just see them soften. They start softening. And so I had a boss. He was a Leo. Amazing guy. I got him when he was older. He had gone through some things, but I remember people being like, oh my God, you work for this guy? Oh my God, that's got to be awful. And I'm like, he's actually really kind. And I learned he had been through some things. Like, you know, there were things that had happened, and he was an amazing guy, amazing boss, you know, and he just, I think over time changed and had some humbling experiences, and it really helped him evolve into like a great Leo energy. And so that is kind of 8th house Leo sun placements. 9th house, what a fun Leo person this would be. 9th house is like exploring, learning, philosophy, travel, and also it's a fire element house, so it's kind of like Leo really thrives here. Kind of like in the 1st house, I was like, oh, Leo is probably aggressive here, but Leo is probably really fun here. Open-minded. This can be a really good placement for a Leo that has a really open mind and not so like, no, this is how it is and this is how it's always been and this is how it's always going to be. They're not like that. They're a little more expansive in their thoughts, which I can truly appreciate. But, you know, some arrogance here. I'm not going to lie. Leo and Sagittarius energy can be quite the combo. So, not a bad placement. Just careful if you teeter on the arrogant side, but you may not, because also I find that Sagittarius is when they learn and explore so much, especially a Leo being in this placement, again, it can kind of humble them and cause them to calm down a little bit. Leo in the 10th house. This is kind of a powerhouse. Leo, statistically, is one of the most successful signs of the zodiac. They work hard. They're consistent because they're fixed. They don't really change a lot, and they don't mind, you know, climbing to the top of the corporate ladder. When you have Leo in the 10th house, this Leo is ready to climb the ladder, power through the ceiling, push through all, you know, barriers that may be there, because they are the ones that want to be on top. They want to be successful, and they also want to be seen. I think that, hold on, I just pulled up this chart. Hold on one second. So I looked up Bill Clinton's birth chart earlier because he's a Leo, and he
got that good hair too.
He has great hair. He also struggles with probably 7th house placement.
Loyalty.
No, where did it go? I mean, I'm not trying to say that all Leos are cheaters, but there is a big. Okay, so actually, his sun is in the 11th house. I always jack this up. I always like, oh, I feel like that's a 10th house placement. It's not.
Oh, the 11th house, Bill Clinton. That tracks.
Yes.
Party animal. Trouble with the law.
Trouble with
Bad
the law.
choice of friends.
That's true. Well, and he's a Libra rising too. So Leo and Libra are double. No. I know a Leo sun, Gemini moon, Libra rising. The depth of this person and what they do and affects people is like, I mean, I don't even know. Like the shallowest pool that you could ever find in the entire universe. That's how deep he goes. Wow. It's pretty interesting. But so Leo sun in the 10th house, I'm going to say this person like runs the company, CEOs, people that really get business. They strive to learn it. They understand it. They want to be on top. They want to be known for being successful. It's just that kind of energy. And good for them, you know, rule the world. But like, don't, please. You know who else I should look really fast while we're on here? Obama. He's a Leo.
Oh.
Ironically, presidents are always like Leos or Geminis these days.
That
which
tracks.
is kind of scary. Birth chart. I just want to see like kind of his little placement. So give me like 2 seconds.
Yeah, no worries. I'd love
if this birth chart is correct, does that mean I don't think we know really where he was born, or maybe he was. I don't know. I just remember the controversy.
So much.
Okay. So he is an Aquarius rising, and his sun is in the 6th house of services. That's kind of nice.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. That's helpful. Better than the 11th house.
Yeah, way better. Yeah, he's got his shit a little more together in that 6th house Virgo.
I think we can say that's like pretty clear to see.
Yes, those are the differences of Leos in the houses and how they make.
Big
he also has. See, he has a Gemini moon too, so. Oh. I don't know. I just like his overall presence, you know, that whole, his demeanor. I can appreciate the demeanor.
Same.
So, 10th house, just curious what Obama's birth chart was, sorry. Off the subject. Squirrel. All right, so let's go into Leo suns in the 11th house. Troublemakers. These are arrogant little beings that also can be assholes. They can be so cold and so detached from really reality. I mean, there's just this whole thing I could say about a Leo sun in the 11th house. It's the opposite house of Leo. It's Aquarius. So they're polarities. So there's this conflict of who you are and how you go about life, and kind of a little conflict in your personality. Like great recipe for like bipolar. Just saying. And if you are a Leo in the 11th house and you do have bipolar, I mean, that's not your fault. It's like in the cards and the stars. But hopefully your other placements level that out a lot. So this is just the sun in the 11th house. But these people also, I would say, are good at making friends. Probably not very good at keeping them, but they are probably really good at making new friends, and they enjoy their friendships, and they enjoy parties, and these are kind of party animals. I'm not gonna, best way to describe it. Very party, lifestyle, nightlife, people. Leo in the 12th house. I like this energy better. I like a Leo in the 12th house because the 12th house really calms people down. It's almost out of this world kind of energy. And so when you have a Leo sun in the 12th house of dreams and imagination and thought, you kind of push Leo into the mind. And a lot of Leos aren't so much like in their heads. They don't really think about things a lot. I mean, some do depending on your placements, but they're not so daydreamy. They're not the sign that like really like goes off and like, oh, I can't imagine what this would be like. No, these are the people that are like, that's fucking stupid. It's never gonna work. But here in this placement, it might work. It could work. You know, there's a little altar there that's kind of like, oh, they're not so fixed and like that's stupid. They're like, okay, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I can see where you're coming from. So I can appreciate a Leo sun in the 12th house because it brings this understanding and this ability to kind of see out of the box. Not a lot. It's not far out of the box. It's like a couple centimeters, but it's not inside the box. I can appreciate that. So with a Leo sun in the 12th house, you're able to kind of push beyond your boundaries and see things a little bit bigger picture than most Leos. So that is all the houses, the planets that we go through. I'm sorry if I offended you. I did my best.
Don't sue us.
So
we don't make any money.
if you want to share a story about a Leo encounter that you're like, this person was amazing, like
Prove us
share
wrong.
it. Yeah, we need to know. But I
We
did
do.
my best.
Oh my goodness. Oh, all right. Then we go over here to the high and the low roads of the Leos, which I guess we've kind of been talking about. The main words are king, the queen, the performer, the child, and the clown. That's just like multifaceted.
They are all those things.
Yeah. The high road is confident, passionate, creative, playful, very passionate. The low road is ego, self-centered, melodramatic, and pretentious.
Yes.
We come into the Leo polarity as Aquarius, which may be why you think that they vibe so well together.
Mm-hmm. They're both assholes.
Say what?
They're both assholes.
Yeah.
They are. Leos are assholes, Aquariuses are assholes, and together they love to be assholes together. Witnessed it too many times for anyone to tell me differently.
Life lessons, self-recognition, to share power, vulnerability is a strength. The esoteric is healing ego without aggrandizement and acknowledging God's power beyond all else. We've got Benjamin Spence with assholes have redeeming qualities too. Agreed.
Yes.
Still doesn't mean you're not an asshole.
And you know what? I mean, I think we need those people in the world because I think like it gives us like really good self-awareness. For me, I can be like, I never want to look like that. And then I'm like, okay, how do I not act that way? Okay. Be humble. Be
I always
kind.
say like your rising sign is like your drunk alter ego, and like mine's the Leo rising, and I'm just like such a Capricorn, but give me a couple of drinks and yeah, the hair gets bigger and I turn into a dick too.
I can kick everybody's ass in here. I'm a better business person than every person in here.
Yeah, my alter ego, she wild.
I love it. I love it. My Sagittarius rising appreciates that, you know. I get drunk and I'm like, ah! And my husband's
I'm
like,
very
who
excited
are
for our
you?
next project together.
I know. Wine nights. Oh, and then Megan, she's a Aries. Together, we're probably a disaster.
I can't wait. Leo rules the body parts of the back, spine, and heart. Normally, we have a little video from Kat, but we didn't get that this morning, and it'll be posted later on the Instagram and the Patreon. But she did tell us the body parts are heart and circulation. Any type of exercise that elevates your heart rate for at least 30 minutes is good. Breath work is also good for heart and circulation. Massages and dry brushing are really good for stimulating the capillaries and supporting circulation. So that video will be up later. So, yeah, if anybody has any questions, any stories, I love the story time for the Leos.
If you're a Scorpio and you date a Leo, please message us. We want to know.
Questions.
We need answers.
All right. We have somebody that's like, Leos are my fave. I'd love to know more. Please let me know.
Oh yeah, that's my girlfriend, the Sagittarius. She loves Leo men. I'm like, please tell me why.
I will say, like, I'm definitely attracted to them, but I was like also the girl that was attracted to like the lead guitarist and the lead singer.
Oh yes,
so
yes,
it makes sense.
Yes. Well, and she's a Gemini moon, and she is very like fun, but she's feisty as hell. Like I feel like a Leo is probably just something that can like handle her wild energy. So I could see that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm like, all for you. But she's like, I can't do a Gemini. I'm like, yeah, that's your polarity.
We got Amanda. Amanda's joining us next week actually for Virgo, which will be super fun. And she's our resident TJ. She said she loves Leos too, but she's an Aries, so that tracks.
Oh, yes.
Goes back to your theory.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, you guys are made for each other. You know, all should be besties because they don't carry the same energy as Leo at all. Like Aries and Sagittarius are not like that arrogant, but they love it and they like fuel the fire. Yeah. So it's so fun.
I was like the only Capricorn, and it was Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and I was like, and then a Scorpio, and I was like, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to make it.
Oh no. Yeah. So my mom is a Leo moon and I'm learning to love it. Yes, the Leo moons, they can be pretty, I mean, like, there is like this cockiness to them, but I do think that they're a lot of fun. They just, I don't know, they can be overpowering. I think especially of a kid, like if your mom is a Leo moon, she could have been like overpowering and very bossy. And that might be hard.
That would be hard.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. Selena is back. I wonder, I need to know what sign you are, Selena. She says she can't get jiggy with the Aries, but she loves Leo.
She's a Sagittarius. She's the one I was telling you. She's Sag.
Oh, that's Selena. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Sagittarius and Aries, you guys love your Leos. You can have them.
You can. Oh my gosh. Well, that's pretty much all that we have. Oh yeah, Sag Sun, Gemini Moon, Leo Rising. Leo Rising.
See, I didn't even know that she had a Leo Rising. That makes sense.
Yeah, me too, girl.
She's a fiery, feisty little thing. We should have her on here. She does her own podcast too. So
Fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love
She'd be funny.
Well, that's all I have on our end, unless anybody has any more questions on how we can be rude to
So like, I hate this live. I'm never tuning in again. They're assholes.
Next week we have Virgo. It'll be a little bit more restrained.
Yes. And we'll have Amanda on the show, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a super fun one. And I do love making fun of Virgos. They just are so easy to make fun of.
Hey, listen, my least favorite sign, I was trying to think of like energy, because I'm always like, oh, the masculine energy is so awful of this sign. And I was like, what feminine energy do I not really vibe with? Honestly, a Libra feminine energy is not my energy. So, and I'm a Libra, so I just don't vibe with. I'm going to go into a whole spill on what I think about Libra women, because
I'm a Libra moon.
Libra moons are chilling. My husband's a Libra moon, but the Libra sun, unevolved. I have things to say about that one.
Yeah, I can't wait. I have photo evidence of some of these.
Oh my God, me in my 20s. I'm like, no, I should definitely. I'm so glad social media wasn't that huge then, because yeah,
we'd all be in bigger trouble. We're the last generation that gets away with it.
I know. I'm like,
All right. Well, I will see you guys next week.
Next Tuesday.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Bye, guys.